In those vulnerable seasons of the heart, when the landscape of your love life feels less like a blossoming garden and more like a barren wilderness, a time when things seem stalled, broken, or perhaps even snatched away from you, it is utterly vital to hold on to a profound truth. God is not denying you. What often feels like harsh rejection in the moment is, in fact, so often His tender, protective hand, gently guiding you away from paths that are not His best for you. We, with our limited human sight, cannot always perceive the full panorama of God's perfect design. We see only fragments, the closed doors right in front of us, the unexpected detours that disrupt our carefully laid plans. But God, He sees the vast, interconnected tapestry of your life, from beginning to end. He knows precisely what you need, who you need, and exactly when you need them. When you encounter delays that stretch your patience thin, when doors you desperately wanted open remain stubbornly shut, or when life takes an abrupt turn in your romantic journey that leaves you feeling disoriented, it is not a reflection of your worthiness. It is not a sign that you have been forgotten by the divine author of your story. Rather, these moments are powerful indicators that God's timing, which operates on a scale far grander and wiser than ours, is in perfect motion. His redirection always carries with it a divine purpose, even when the feeling of it in our souls is one of discomfort, confusion, or even deep pain. Perhaps He is shielding you from a future heartache you cannot yet foresee, protecting you from a connection that would ultimately lead to spiritual or emotional harm. Or perhaps, in the quiet crucible of the waiting or the letting go, He is tenderly shaping your heart, refining your capacity to love and be loved more fully, preparing you for the moment when the person He has ordained for you finally steps into your life. This message is crafted to illuminate the clear signs that God is actively working behind the scenes in your love life, orchestrating movements and shifts not out of a desire to hurt you, but with an unwavering intention to bless you abundantly. Stay with this message, open your heart and mind, and allow these divine signs to strengthen your trust, anchoring your hope firmly in His sovereign, perfect plan for you. Consider the first, often most painful, sign that God is redirecting you rather than denying you. When a relationship ends without a clear, understandable reason, this feels like a cruel twist of fate, a script abruptly torn up, leaving you standing amidst the ruins asking, why? Yet, the scripture reminds us in Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. This is a bedrock promise. It doesn't say, some things, or as most things, but all things. This encompasses the beautiful beginnings, the challenging middles, and yes, even the heartbreaking ends of relationships. You may be grappling with the sheer incomprehensibility of why something, or someone, you cherished was taken away, especially when no glaring fault or failure was apparent. But God, in His infinite wisdom, possesses a perspective far beyond our own. He sees the hidden currents beneath the surface, the subtle incompatibilities that would eventually surface and cause greater pain, the potential future troubles and heartaches that you would have had to navigate had that relationship continued. When God permits an ending, it is never an arbitrary act of cosmic indifference. It is always rooted in His meticulous care for you. Even in the raw confusion and profound sadness of that moment, you can choose to trust that God is actively working for your ultimate good. The feeling of rejection or being left behind is acutely painful, striking deep at our sense of worth. But His purpose for your life, the grand narrative He is writing, is infinitely larger and more glorious than any single relationship or any one moment of disappointment. no matter how crushing it feels. You are not being denied love itself. You are being skillfully redirected, guided along a path that leads you toward the specific, unique love story He knows is the right one for you. The invitation here is to rest in the certainty of His overarching plan, and to cling to the belief that every chapter that closes in your life is not an end in itself, but a necessary transition, a deliberate clearing of the stage for something far more meaningful and aligned with His will to enter. God often requires us to release our tight grip on the past, to intentionally let go of what was, not to punish us, but to create space in our hearts and lives for the blessings He is actively preparing for us right now. That ending, that breakup that hurt so deeply, was never intended by God to destroy you or diminish your spirit. Its divine purpose was to guide you, to point your heart and your steps in a new, healthier direction. Stay steadfast in your faith, remembering that when God removes someone from your immediate path, He is simultaneously making room for someone or something new, someone who will be a better fit, a greater blessing, a truer companion on your journey of faith. Keep your heart soft and open, ready to receive, and trust with unwavering conviction that what is better, what is truly His best for you, is indeed on its way, arriving in His perfect, sovereign time. Even when the ache lingers, a dull throb in the quiet moments, know that you are not forgotten by the One who holds the universe in His hands. Your future, including your future love story, is held securely in the palm of His care. Nothing, absolutely nothing, has slipped past His notice or control. There will come a day when you will look back on this season of pain and confusion, and with the clarity of hindsight, you will see the hidden beauty, the divine protection, the intricate wisdom in what you could not possibly understand at the time. And in that revelation, you will feel a deep wave of gratitude for how God, with such tenderness and profound love, redirected your love life, steering you exactly where you needed to go. Secondly, you recognize God's redirection when doors you desperately want to open remain firmly, stubbornly closed. We are drawn to certain individuals, certain potential relationships, certain pathways in love, and we exert all our energy, all our hope, sometimes even all our will, trying to force these doors to swing open. But if they stay shut, despite your most fervent efforts, it is a powerful sign that God Himself is intervening, positioning Himself directly in your path to protect you. Revelation 3:7 offers this incredible insight into His authority. These things says He who is holy, He who is true, He who has the key of David, He who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens. This verse paints a picture of Christ's absolute sovereignty over the doors of opportunity and relationship in our lives. When you are pushing and pushing against a door in your love life, one that feels so right, so promising, and yet it refuses to budge, it is God, the one who holds the ultimate key, who is keeping it closed. This persistent closure is not a form of personal rejection, nor is it divine punishment for some perceived fault. It is, in essence, an act of salvation. You are being saved, being kept safe from walking into a situation, a relationship, a dynamic that is simply not intended for you, not part of God's good plan. The frustration can be immense. You yearn to move forward, to explore, to see what lies on the other side. But God, who sees the entirety of the road ahead, who knows what is hidden beyond that closed door, perhaps unseen pitfalls, potential heartbreaks, or simply an incompatibility that would hinder your spiritual growth, He holds the door fast. His no, in these moments, is not a declaration of your inadequacy. It is a declaration of His immense love and perfect wisdom. Accepting a closed door can be challenging to our pride and our desires, but waiting for His yes, for the door he does open in his timing will always, without exception, lead to a better, more blessed outcome. You can cultivate a profound sense of peace by anchoring your faith in the truth that God's hands are sovereignly placed on every door in your life, particularly in the sensitive area of your relationships. When He shuts something, it is fundamentally because He is either preparing you for a better situation, or preparing the situation itself for your arrival, or perhaps both. Trust deeply and completely that the right doors will swing open effortlessly when your heart is truly ready and His divine timing aligns. Until that moment arrives, lean into Him with all your weight. Find your strength, your solace, and your direction in His unwavering care. Your love life is far from over just because one door, or even many doors, have closed. God continues His intricate work behind the scenes, arranging details you cannot possibly perceive, orchestrating divine appointments you haven't even dreamed of. Keep walking forward in faith, one step at a time, confident that He will open the precise, perfect door at the exact, perfect moment. And when you finally walk through it, you will step into a love that is not just a human connection, but one profoundly blessed and shaped by His guiding hand. Thirdly, a clear sign of God's redirection is when you suddenly feel unsettled with choices you once pursued or desired wholeheartedly. There was a time, perhaps not long ago, when you were absolutely certain about what you wanted in your love life. You had a type, specific goals, maybe even a person in mind, and you pursued it with conviction. But now, a subtle shift has occurred. That certainty has evaporated, replaced by a pervasive feeling of unsettlement, a quiet unease, a gnawing uncertainty about what once seemed so right. This isn't random emotional fluctuation. It's a divine signal. It's God gently, yet powerfully, shifting your heart away from paths, people, or desires that, while they may have seemed good on the surface, no longer align with the elevated plan He has for you. Isaiah 55:8-9 reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways and my thoughts than your thoughts." God is lifting your gaze, helping you detach from the smaller, earthbound dreams and desires you held onto, precisely so that He can replace them with something infinitely greater, something birthed from His divine perspective. Your feeling of being unsettled is a sacred sign of God's hand actively at work within you. He is teaching you, from the inside out, that His thoughts regarding your life, including your love life, are superior to your own, and His plans for you are far more expansive and perfect than anything you could have ever conceived on your own. This discomfort you feel, while perhaps unwelcome, is a holy discomfort. It is purposeful, designed to nudge you, to guide you unmistakably in a new, God-directed direction. Trust, with unwavering faith, that He knows what you truly need, who you truly need, even when your own understanding is clouded by confusion or uncertainty. As you reflect back, you may begin to see, with growing clarity, how the things you once chased with such determination were not, in fact, truly beneficial for the deepest parts of your heart and soul. God is not just removing those old desires, He is actively replacing them with His best intentions and blessings for you. Continue to surrender your own carefully constructed plans to Him, laying them at His feet. Trust that the deep peace you feel you are missing will return, flooding your soul, as you align your heart's desires and your life's direction with His perfect will. He loves you enough to allow you to feel unsettled, to disrupt your comfortable but suboptimal path, so that you are prompted to seek Him and, in doing so, walk directly into the abundant, something better He has waiting, Allow your heart to find rest in the profound knowledge that you are being moved up by God, not punished by Him. His ways are indeed higher. Even when you cannot fully grasp the intricate details of what He is doing or why, you can trust implicitly that His divine direction will ultimately lead you to a love story shaped by His profound wisdom, boundless grace, and unwavering care. Keep your hands open, ready to release your old plans and receive His new ones, and let Him gently, sovereignly guide you. Fourthly, you know God is redirecting you when unexpected delays keep appearing in your love life. You feel ready. The timing seems right according to your calendar, but hurdles suddenly appear. Opportunities fizzle out, connections stall, plans fall through, leaving you in a frustrating holding pattern. This prolonged waiting can feel agonizingly like being forgotten, overlooked, or even actively denied the desires of your heart. Yet, Habakkuk 2:3 offers a divine perspective on delay. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. God is not denying you. He is placing things on hold, orchestrating events, and preparing both you and the circumstances until the divinely appointed time. His ultimate vision for your life, including your relationships, is perfect in its conception and execution. And even though its unfolding may take longer than your human impatience desires, that vision, that promise, will come to fruition precisely when He knows you are ready to receive it. The frustration born from waiting is a valid emotion, one that many have wrestled with. But understand this: God's delays are not absences of care. They are integral parts of His meticulous care for you. He is incredibly active during these seasons of waiting, working diligently behind the scenes in ways you cannot possibly perceive. He is aligning people, circumstances, and divine appointments in locations and at times that only He knows. Trust that the wait is not wasted time. It is a purposeful period designed to shape you into the person you need to be for the relationship He has planned. It is meant to build your faith, strengthening your reliance on Him rather than your own efforts. It is actively preparing you, refining your character, and making you ready for a deeper, more mature, and ultimately more blessed love than you could ever hope to create or sustain solely through your own will. When you feel the weary weight of waiting pressing down on you, when the desire for companionship aches, cling fiercely to His promise. It will surely come. God does not make errors in His scheduling for your life, and He is utterly faithful to His word. Maintain your hope, even when it feels like a fragile ember, and cultivate patience, recognizing that the love story He is diligently writing for you is profoundly worth every single moment of delay. Allow yourself to truly rest in the certainty of God's perfect timing, knowing that His plans are unfolding exactly on schedule, according to His divine clock, not yours. Even when your heart feels tired, when the journey seems long, remember that you are held securely, tenderly, in the palm of His hand. Believe with every fiber of your being that your season of waiting will conclude precisely at the moment He has appointed. And when it arrives, it will not only be worth the wait, but it will be truly, undeniably beautiful. Fifthly, you experience a deep, unshakable peace after letting go of something or someone you desperately wanted. This is a powerful sign of God's redirection. Often, we cling tightly to relationships, possibilities, or hopes in our love lives that are either past their time, not meant for us, or simply not aligning with God's will. We hold on out of fear, out of attachment, out of a belief that this particular thing is our only chance at happiness. But when, through surrender and trust, you finally release what God has been gently asking you to let go of, perhaps a past relationship, a specific outcome you were fixated on, or even a certain person you were pursuing. A remarkable shift occurs within your soul. The heavy weight you didn't even fully realize you were carrying begins to lift, and in the space it occupied, His profound peace begins to settle. Philippians 4:7 describes this phenomenon beautifully, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. That peace, the one that defies rational explanation, the calm assurance that settles over you despite the circumstances, is a profound sign that you have stepped back onto the path of His will, and that He is actively guarding your heart and mind through the process. Letting go is rarely easy. It can involve grief, uncertainty, and a sense of loss. But God meets you precisely in that vulnerable moment of surrender, flooding you with His comfort and infusing you with His strength. He provides a peace that the world cannot comprehend, a supernatural stillness that calms the anxieties of your mind, and serves as a constant, gentle reminder that you are utterly safe within His embrace. Even when lingering sadness or disappointment remains, His peace rises above it, holding you steady like an anchor in a storm. You can trust implicitly that this peace is not a fleeting emotion or a psychological trick. It is a tangible manifestation of His promise to you, a promise that He is in complete control, that He will tenderly care for what you have surrendered into His hands, and that He is working all things together for your good. Continue to hold on to Him tightly, knowing that His peace will be your constant companion and guide through this season of transition. Rest in the liberating truth that God has never, not for a single moment, left you to navigate this journey alone. His peace is irrefutable proof of His nearness, and His presence is the deepest, most enduring comfort you could ever possess. Allow Him to fill your heart and mind with this divine calm assurance as you bravely move forward, knowing with certainty that better things aligned with His perfect plan, are undoubtedly on their way. Sixthly, a powerful indication of God's redirection is when you feel a clear, often persistent, sense of God blocking you from certain people. You might meet someone who seems wonderful on paper, someone you are attracted to, someone who appears to tick all the boxes. Yet, despite the apparent suitability, you encounter inexplicable obstacles. Communication breaks down, plans fall through repeatedly, there's a lack of peace, or you feel a distinct check in your spirit, a quiet warning from within that something isn't right, even if you can't articulate why. Psalm 121:7 offers a profound truth. The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. When you sense that God is actively putting up barriers, hindering your connection with certain individuals, it is because He sees dangers, complexities, or misalignments that you, in your current perspective, simply cannot. He is preserving you, keeping you safe, shielding you from potential harm you may not even recognize or comprehend in the moment. Even when your natural inclination is to push forward, to make the connection work because you see the potential or feel the attraction, He places His hand firmly in the way, not to thwart your happiness, but for your ultimate protection and well-being. It can be genuinely disappointing, even frustrating, to feel deliberately kept away from someone you are drawn to, or someone who seems like a good prospect. But God's vision extends far beyond the present moment. He knows their heart, their intentions, their character in a way you cannot. And crucially, He knows your heart, your vulnerabilities, and your specific path. He blocks these connections, these potential relationships, not out of cruelty, but to shield you from predictable pain, future heartbreak, or significant setbacks that could genuinely derail your spiritual growth or emotional health. Trust deeply that His no in these situations is not a reflection of your lack of desirability, but rather an expression of His perfect love and meticulous care for you. You may not see the full picture right now, the intricate web of consequences that would have unfolded had that connection been allowed to deepen, but God's wisdom in safeguarding you is infinitely greater than your own limited understanding. When He closes off a particular path with a person, it is invariably because He has a better, healthier, more life-giving direction He wants to lead you toward. Lean into His protection. Embrace His guidance, trusting completely that He is leading you with unparalleled wisdom and boundless love. Allow your heart to find rest and security in the profound knowledge that God is always, unfailingly on your side, working for your ultimate good. His protection is not rejection, it is love in its most active, vigilant form. Allow Him to gently steer you away from what could harm you and skillfully guide you into connections that will heal, uplift, and bless your life in alignment with His divine purposes. Finally, and often most compellingly, you see patterns in your love life that you simply cannot ignore. You might find yourself repeating the same relationship dynamics, encountering similar types of people who lead to similar dead ends, or experiencing recurring frustrations despite trying different approaches. These aren't random coincidences or signs of personal failure. They are God's repeated signals, His persistent attempts to capture your attention and communicate a crucial truth. Proverbs 16:9 says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." You may plan your way, charting a course you believe is best, but God in His loving sovereignty, gently, sometimes firmly, redirects your steps. His hand is steady on the rudder of your life, guiding you back onto the course He has set. Even when you, in your eagerness or stubbornness, try to race ahead or veer off course, God actively uses these recurring patterns to show you where you need to pause, where you need to re-evaluate, where you need to slow down, or where you need to make a fundamental change in direction. You might feel intense frustration at encountering the same obstacles or experiencing the same disappointments again and again, but rather than seeing these repetitions as failures, recognize them as God's persistent voice, speaking to you through the circumstances of your life, guiding you, urging you back onto His path. Every repeated pattern, every recurring challenge, is a powerful reminder that He remains ultimately in control, sovereignly overseeing your journey. Even when your own plans feel logical, look promising, and seem undeniably right from your limited viewpoint, God's redirection, His alternative path, is always superior because it is rooted in perfect knowledge and perfect love. He is actively moving you, through these lessons and patterns, toward His absolute best for you. And every time you choose to acknowledge these patterns, to listen to His subtle guidance within them, and to adjust your course to follow His leading, you are taking a step further into the secure, purposeful, and abundant future He has so carefully designed for you. Release the need to control the outcome, to force your will, and trust completely in the direction He is showing you through these undeniable signs. Rest securely in the truth that God's guidance is unwavering. His steps are firm and sure. He loves you far too much to allow you to wander aimlessly down paths that are not meant for you. Keep your spiritual eyes open. Pay close attention to the patterns and lessons He is highlighting and walk forward with a quiet confidence in the direction He is consistently showing you, knowing that His path is the only one that leads to true fulfillment and a love that is blessed by His presence. Beloved friend, If any of these signs have resonated deeply with you today, if you have recognized God's hand in the closed doors, the unexpected endings, the unsettling feelings, the frustrating delays, the peace that followed surrender, the blocked connections, or the recurring patterns in your own love life, take heart. You are not alone. Your experiences are not random. They are part of a divine narrative, a story being written by the author of love himself. God is not denying you happiness, companionship, or the desire for a loving relationship. He is actively, faithfully, and lovingly redirecting you towards something better, something aligned with His perfect will and timing. Trust His process, even when it is painful or confusing. Lean into His wisdom, even when it defies your own understanding. Hold on to His promises, for they are true and unfailing. This journey of trusting God with your love life is one of surrender, patience, and profound faith. It requires releasing your grip on your own timeline and your own preferences, and embracing the beautiful, sometimes mysterious, unfolding of His plan. What if, in the quiet moments, you were to ask yourself, where do I see God's redirection in my love life right now? Or perhaps, what comfort can I find in trusting that His closed doors are truly His protection? Or even, how can I actively lean into His timing today, instead of striving in my own strength? Ponder these questions in your heart. Allow them to guide your prayers and reflections. Remember, God's timing is always perfect, even when the wait feels long, challenging, or even forgotten. Be encouraged. Be patient. Be faithful. Keep seeking Him first. Keep growing in your relationship with Christ. And trust that as you walk closely with Him, He will orchestrate the details of your life, including your love story, in ways that will bring glory to His name and abundant blessing to your soul. You are deeply loved, perfectly seen, and meticulously guided by the One who holds your entire future in His hands. Rest in that truth. Be blessed.